We want to ask you, the audience, who are the most overrated and overworked actors in Hollywood? Why do they keep getting work when they have no skill to back it up? There was this viral tweet that said, who's an actor with zero chops or range, yet somehow they keep getting work? And they brought up the holy trinity of overrated actors here in the responses, meaning Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds, who just starred in Red One. I think those were like the most common responses, but I also saw mentions of Sydney Sweeney as well. I kind of agree with that, but I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, she's not great at acting.
These lists will end up coming down to whether it's an actor you like or not, right? Because the examples that I saw the most of were like The Rock. So it's a matter of whether you like The Rock or not. Pedro Pascal. It's a matter of whether you like Pedro Pascal or not. Zendaya. Jack Black. I feel like Jack Black and The Rock are good examples of like everyone thinks they're going to draw money, but maybe won't draw money, except for, you know, Jack Black was in Super Mario Brothers and that made like $1 gazillion.
Sorry, I misspoke. So Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and The Rock were in the Netflix movie Red Notice, not Red One, which they decided to put out at the exact same time as Red Notice and expect us not to get confused.
Look, everyone knows that I love bad action movies, or I love generic action movies.
At least you know they're bad.
Even I was kind of, by the time Red Notice was done, I was like, not great. Not great. And it was one of their biggest movies they've ever made.
I mean, I just think some people are more marketable than others.
Yeah.
For some intangible reason that you can't articulate.
The Rock might be the perfect example of somebody who should be thought of as like big for streaming, because he's not drawing the numbers that they think that he's going to draw for at the theaters. Other than the Jumanji movies, he did really the Jumanji movies made money.
When was that?
And then
was that pre-COVID?
And what was the other one? Into the Jumanji and Jumanji Into the Jungle or whatever it was, and then he did Jungle Cruise.
That was all pre-COVID,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So since then, he has had zero successes at the box office. Black Adam flopped.
Like broke even, but didn't make enough money to even justify making a sequel.
Jared Leto was also mentioned here. I could say more obvious ones like The Rock or Gal Gadot, but every time Jared Leto is on screen, he always brings down the film. He is a shitty actor, a pretentious a-hole on set, and an effing weirdo.
He's an example of ones where people think he's gonna bring something to the role. Like a lot of people thought he was gonna add something to Joker. To playing the Joker, and that obviously didn't happen.
One mentioned Timothée Chalamet.
Dallas would agree. Dallas from Bonfire Legend absolutely hates Timothée Chalamet. It's one of my favorite things to follow on social media.
Do you know why?
I have no idea. He just loves to dunk on Timothée Chalamet.
But he is a good actor, right?
I mean, I guess.
You saw him in Dune.
Yeah, he's fine in Dune. He was fine in Wonka, but Wonka again.
But Wonka was Wonka.
I like the Anna Kendrick. Yes.
I've only seen her in Pitch Perfect and Twilight.
Wet Blanket.
I have no idea.
Get her. Make sure she's not in The Accountant too. Whatever you do.
One of the most viral responses was a photo of Zendaya from Euphoria playing Rue. And the caption says, "I'm so tired of this literal Neanderthal." I think a lot of people have Zendaya fatigue.
I think it's, I feel like it's kind of the same way people felt about Jai Courtney, where Hollywood was trying just a little bit too hard to say, this is your next big thing.
What are they trying to make Zendaya into the successor for? Like, the successor to who? Halle Berry?
Maybe. I mean, is there like Halle Berry's still pretty popular, even if she's not working as much.
Really doing anything anymore.
She did that John Wick movie. I liked her in the John Wick movie.
But Zendaya isn't that. I don't know what she is, but she's just kind of there, and they just cast her in everything, and she somehow ended up being A-list.
Yeah. She's not as talented as... You know who I see a lot of pictures of lately is Daisy Edgar-Jones, but nobody's ever talking about her work.
Right. She's now like the next Dakota Johnson. And Dakota Johnson was also named here because she can't act for shit.
Yeah.
She's also a Nepo baby. People don't know that about her.
And I do think that Pedro Pascal fatigue is a thing. I do. I think that, you know why? Is because it would make more sense for you to be fatigued if he was like over the top. Like if you were talking like a Nicolas Cage, who's awesome, and I love Nicolas Cage's work, but has a very particular style that might wear thin on you if you're not a big fan of his. Pedro Pascal is not that. He's just bleh. He's just there. He just kind of fills the role.
I really don't like him.
And does his thing in every movie. And you're like, okay, I could understand if he had like a bunch of breakout roles past Game of Thrones that justified this. But there
You know
isn't
who else
really.
I don't like? Ethan Hawke.
No,
I really don't like him.
I like Ethan Hawke. I think of like the Ethan Hawkes, the Josh Hartnett's, and the Edward Nortons as the same scale of actor that I really, really like, but don't get cast in everything because they kind of. I know Josh Hartnett made a preemptive choice to not do a bunch of mainstream stuff after his early 20s, but a lot of them feel like, you cast them because they're more art house.
Same goes for Maya Hawke, by the way, his Nepo daughter. I
Yeah.
have no love for her. Rachel Zegler was also mentioned here. She keeps getting work because she's good at singing.
Yeah.
So they're casting her in musical roles.
I mean, in Hollywood is.
But everything else about her kind of flops.
Eugene says Jenna Ortega. I would say Jenna Ortega is picking her projects so carefully that it doesn't feel like she's everywhere.
What is she doing?
Other
lately?
than she did Beetlejuice, and I think they just started filming Wednesday season 2 or wrapped filming Wednesday season 2.
They were tempting the idea of casting her as Joan of Arc, which would make me angry.
Yeah,
I don't want them to.
She
make a movie
left
about
the
her.
Scream franchise.
Amber Heard was mentioned here. She's not getting work at all.
She's not really working.
She's not working.
This was more.
She's
supposed to
living
be,
off of baby daddy support payments from Elon Musk currently. So.
This was more supposed to be the people that are, what was the word I used? Terminally employed.
Right.
They're always. They
oh my gosh, Aquafina.
I mean,
what?
I mean,
You're gonna defend Aquafina?
no, I'm saying, is
right
she
now?
really in everything? She works. That doesn't mean she's in like everything. Like if we're talking about who's in everything right now, it's Timothée Chalamet, it's Zendaya, it's Austin Butler, it's
Jason Momoa,
it's Jeremy Allen White. These are the names that you hear consistently now.
Does Jason Momoa count?
Even then,
Lady Gaga, not great in Joker 2.
no.
I didn't see A Star Is Born though.
But a lot of these are just names that
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart makes his own movies though, so that's different. He's
Yeah.
employing himself.
I think Ryan Reynolds is the number one example. I can't stand him for some reason.
I love Ryan Reynolds. Can't help it.
And knowing that he's not actually funny or goofy.
You have
behind
no
the
proof of
scenes
that. That is
makes
hearsay.
total sense.
That is hearsay, and I will
Soulless.
not take that slander.
Soulless.
Though I 110% buy that it's the type of thing where, they're a completely different person on camera than behind the camera.
Yeah.
There's a 20 there from Jose Quintana. Did we miss that one? Or did you get that one?
I'm not sure I saw it.
Says Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson.
By the way, should Wicked be compared to the OG Oz? Is showing a married woman having an affair on screen and a gay sidekick part of Arrivo's on-screen entourage off the grid?
I mean, what's the question about that?
So was that part of the plot?
Is what you're saying there? Is that's what made it
A
inappropriate
married
for
woman
kids?
having an affair on screen was in Wicked movie, apparently. And there was a gay sidekick. I didn't hear about anything like that, but I never watched the play. So maybe they're staying true to the story.
What do you think? Kristen Stewart, overrated?
I mean, she was never a great actress. She just was hired for her looks, which is fine.
And then in Dakota Johnson is a good example because the only things people know Dakota Johnson from are 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Yes.
And then Madam Web. And of
Was
course,
there anything else?
She was a masterpiece.
Was there
It was a
anything else at
masterpiece
all?
in Madam Web. It's high art, as we all know. And that's an example of somebody who feels very art house, which she's even said. She's got a very Gwyneth Paltrow type vibe when she does interviews. She feels unbelievably inaccessible. And not
What
like...
about Dave Bautista?
No, I think he's actually a talented actor. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I think The Rock is actually a talented actor. He's just not doing... No, you have to watch his early stuff. You have to watch the stuff like Empire State when he was doing smaller movies that had a little bit more meat to the roles before he became the generic action star. But I think The Rock can actually act. I do love that now again, I don't know if this has ever been confirmed that he supposedly has a clause in his contract that says he can't lose fights in movies, which is perfect because that's the most pro wrestling thing ever. Protect your character at all costs, which is why him and Vin Diesel would always come to a draw in the Fast and the Furious movies because neither of them would let their characters lose.
One of them mentioned was Chris Pratt. They called him an untalented dumbass.
Okay, Chris Pratt and Paul Rudd and John Krasinski are all kind of the same thing.
Actually, I'm seeing like pretty much everyone. Channing Tatum.
Yes,
Henry
Pain and Gain.
Cavill.
Henry Cavill is great.
I mean, if you ask Twitter who is an overrated, untalented actor, you're going to get pretty much everyone in response. Everyone is untalented and no one deserves a job. If you ask Twitter.
I maintain my point here. Yes, go back and watch Walking Tall and Pain and Gain with The Rock if you want to see actual good Rock acting roles. But I also liked him in his first
Keanu
appearances.
Reeves too.
No, wrong. Also, like, go check out The Rock's performance in the first time he was in a Fast and the Furious movie when it felt new and fun at that time. It was good stuff.
J-Lo, abso-freaking-lutely. I don't even think she's a great singer. She just had the right time, right place.
Yeah. Did anybody say Angelina Jolie? They better not have said Angelina Jolie. I rewatched The Bone Collector very, very recently. If you have not seen The Bone Collector with Angelina Jolie and Denzel Washington, where he plays Lincoln Rhyme, who's a quadriplegic, used to be a forensics dude for like the police, and then he solves crime from his hospital bed. And it's really, really fun. And in the year 2000, when it came out, forensic shows weren't the big thing that they are now. So it actually felt new and fun at the time. But you should go and rewatch that one. It's got Leland Orser. It's got all these great actors, all these great New York actors. It's a lot of fun. Did I see Denzel on there? I think I saw one person mention Denzel Washington. If I could have banned them from X, I would have, but that's just me.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.